Legendary real estate investor Sam Zell, my special guest. What about this narrative that because of higher interest rates and because of demographics, I don't even understand the argument, but the argument is that things are going to slow down, that we're looking at a 3% growth year this year, but by the time 2020 rolls around, we may be talking about 1.92%, which comes from the president of the Dallas Federal Reserve.
Well, I don't know who the Dallas head of the Federal Reserve is.
Robert Kaplan.
But I think he's got a great track record of having been wrong. And my guess is he's going to be wrong again. We're sitting here talking about, about growth rates of between 3 and 4%. Allow me to remind you, when that was brought up in the presidential election in 2016, the candidate who suggested that we could grow at 3 and 4% was pillared. And yet here we are. Change the attitude, change the perspective, change the way people think about opportunity, and they act.
So let's talk about the issues that are of some concern to some, and that is trade and tariffs. What's your take on where we are right now with Canada, where we are right now with China? I mean, the U.S. has pushed back on China for the theft of intellectual property, which China still won't admit, the forced transfer of technology, and they're doing so with tariffs. Will it work?
Well, the answer is, if I knew whether it would work or not, I'd be rich. But
I thought you were rich.
That's what you guys have made me.
Some people think.
Yeah, but I just don't think that people have looked at this problem from a broad enough perspective. Let's take NAFTA. We created NAFTA 25 years ago. NAFTA was 50% foreign policy and 50% trade. What was the foreign policy? Stop illegal immigration and solidify our neighbor to the south. Guess what? Both of them worked, and worked great. Well, it's 25 years later. Maybe it's time to take another look.
Take a look if it's still working.
And is it still working?
Yeah.
And I think that's what the administration has done. Interesting enough, I'm very close to a lot of the Mexicans involved. And my initial reaction was I thought they were going to be, wildly anti-U.S. They, in effect, said to me, yeah, we need to rethink how we do things, including the fact that NAFTA has shifted our thinking so that we only think about markets to the north, when in fact there are lots of markets to the south and Europe that we haven't really developed, and maybe this will help us do that.
So you've got the midterm elections, you've got third quarter earnings season on the horizon, you've got some catalysts for the market in the U.S. I want to turn you back to the U.S. right now and get your take on what's going on here with valuations. You see these catalysts being an issue for markets?
Well, I think that the markets are, first of all, bifurcated. There's, whatever it is, 7 or 8 FANG stocks that represent all the growth, or most of the growth.
Yeah, I think those stocks alone represent almost 10% of the S&P 500.
Yeah. Well, I think, I'm not sure you're old enough, but I was around for the Nifty 50, and I don't know what percentage those Nifty 50 represented, but it was a similar, significant percentage. And then it changed. And, some of the valuations today are really challenging to understand. There's one of these FANG companies sells for 125 times earnings.
Yep.
You do the math, 125 times earnings that means that the return on capital is under 1%. If you have a company that's trading at 25 times earnings, in order for it to justify that ratio, has to be 25% of the U.S. economy in 5 years. I'm willing to bet on public television that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And by the way, the last time I looked at the numbers like that was 1997, and the company selling for 125 times earnings was called Cisco. And we know what happened there.
Cisco plummeted from those levels.
Yeah, well, every company plummets from those levels. We haven't even talked about Tesla.
I was just going to ask you about Tesla.
I don't, explain it to me.
What do you say to Tesla?
I don't understand it. The company loses money. The company loses money after significant subsidies from state and federal governments and still loses money.
They're burning cash.
It's got a guy who's the CEO who does things on Twitter that everybody else goes to jail for. I would go to jail if I announced that I was taking one of my companies private.
Funding secured.
Funding secured. I mean, they would hang me out to dry. How come he misses the pass? How come he gets a pass? Well, we've done that before. The guy who ran Enron got a pass. We've seen other situations where we glorify people to the point where reality is no longer relevant in terms of making a distinction.
Sam, it's great to have you on the program this week.
My pleasure, Maria.
Great to see you.
Really fun.
Always,
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Sam Zell joining us.